Over the past few months, you may have had people recommending a certain animated movie to you, either through casual conversation or holding your whole family hostage until you finally forked over those $18 and got your ass in that seat. Transformers 1 flopped hard, but everyone who has seen it has been singing its praises over and over, desperate to not let it rust away, to a point where it's actually gained a pretty decent following in the weeks after its home release. As for me, yeah, I thought this was pretty epic. It's by no means my favorite movie of the year, it's not even my favorite animated movie of the year. And I'm far from the first person to talk about this movie, but I want to, screw you. I've been a pretty on and off Transformers fan over the years. I had a phase as a kid where I was obsessed with them, but I can't really call myself a super fan or anything. Most of the more recent stuff I've seen consists of the live action movies, which I enjoyed. I liked Bumblebee quite a bit, and even Rise of the Beast was pretty fun. Hell, I even enjoyed the Michael Bay Fireball Bukkake fests, to an extent.
What's crackin', little bitches?
I didn't have the highest expectations for this movie, and a good part of that was, yeah, let's just get this out of the way, the marketing for this movie was awful. The trailer they had for a while made this look like a generic, annoying movie for little kids. I get not wanting to spoil all the best parts, but the alternative is not making a 2-minute collage of all your worst jokes and having it be your only trailer. Whatever hobo Paramount pulled off the streets to have do the marketing, I hope they didn't let him back inside. Now, for a movie like this, the story isn't really anything groundbreaking. It follows Optimus Prime and Megatron, or Orion Pax and D-16 when they were miners.
Miners!
Robots who can't transform and are forced to mine for Energon, their only power source. Meanwhile, their leader, Sentinel, scours the planet Cybertron to find the matrix of leadership and make the Energon flow freely once again. Now, if you know anything about Transformers at all, or, have seen a movie before, you've got a pretty good idea of where it goes from here. Right from the start, I knew what the big secret was going to be, who was going to turn out to be evil the whole time, and how the whole thing was going to end. But the movie knows you know this already, and it doesn't try to deceive you. Everything I correctly predicted was still built up and presented exceptionally. Before we can get into that, though, there's one more problem I should address. One thing the trailers unfortunately got right is that this movie is not very funny. There are a lot of attempted jokes, but most of them just don't work. I enjoyed the banter. There's a GoBots reference at one point, and there were some jokes I did get a decent laugh at. But whenever it tries to go full comedy, it flops hard. Like whenever B is on screen.
Banacitron!
I'm impressed they made a version of Bumblebee who I actually want to see his vocal cords get ripped out. Okay, he's not that bad, but he is the weakest character of the movie by far. Alita is also there. She's fine, I guess. The characters that really work are Orion Pax and D-16. Seeing their friendship erode over the course of the film was compelling and believable. There are so many movies that try to force a falling out between friends, but here it feels natural, even if you don't know anything about Transformers. Chris Hemsworth does a great job voicing Pax, and it was really cool to hear his voice progress to almost sounding like a young Peter Cullen by the end. But the real star here is D-16, who has easily the best arc in the movie. A mining bot devoted to Sentinel who has his entire worldview shattered in an instant. From there, he unravels, becoming colder, more violent, eventually becoming
Megatron!
Brian Tyree Henry killed it in this role. You could hear a pin drop during a rant he has in the middle, and I got goose pimples from his speech during the climax. Without a doubt, one of the best interpretations we've ever gotten out of this character. Also, Steve Buscemi's Starscream is just genius casting. But this is an animated movie. How's the animation? Well, I did think the human faces on the Transformers looked a bit weird at first, but I got used to them pretty quickly. What really stands out is the action. Every action scene is fast-paced, creative, and surprisingly violent at points. Okay, it never hits Michael Bay murder-happy levels, but at least 2 people in this movie get ripped in half. And the climax, in my opinion, might be the best from an animated movie I've seen since Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That is a compliment if I've ever given one. Also, the movie just looks awesome. I saw this in IMAX because I want to abuse my AMC A-list account as much as possible. And I was blown away by the scale of some of these scenes, like one sequence on a train involving what I can only describe as land tidal waves. Again, this movie unfortunately didn't do very well, but there is some good news. Word of mouth quickly spread after its opening weekend, and a massive one-man Twitter campaign made it grow a huge following over the course of the last few months. Will it be enough to get a sequel made? Well, I certainly hope so. It seems every year we get at least one movie that comes right the hell out of nowhere, is 1,000 times better than it has any right to be, and bombs way harder than it deserves. Transformers 1 is that movie of 2024. If you're watching this video and somehow haven't seen the movie yet, check it out. I promise it's nothing like what the trailers have shown. No, really, watch it. I know you've got the time. I can see you through the floorboards.